Hi you guys, it's Lindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about my experience using swap.com. If you've never heard of swap.com before, essentially it's like an online thrift store. I'm sure that a lot of you have heard of ThredUp because I have done unboxings from ThredUp before. ThredUp does have a program where you can send items in and earn commissions whenever they sell. Well, swap.com has the exact same service. So I thought that I would send some things into swap.com and see what kind of money I could make. Now, the reason why I chose to send in items to swap.com and not something like ThredUp was strictly based off of the brands that I regularly sell and the brands that I regularly have access to. So a lot of these brands are mall brands. They're super common, also known in the reseller world as bread and butter items. Those don't really do so well on ThredUp. The typical payout or estimated payout for an item like American Eagle, Old Navy, or I don't know, any brand that you can find at the mall is usually less than $1. Like, you might as well donate it and not even waste your time. However, swap.com's commission scale was a lot better. And so I thought if I was ever going to send items into a online platform that was owned and operated by somebody else, that I would want to pick something like swap.com just based on the commission scale alone. Now, please keep in mind that all commission scales are subject to change at any time, and I'm just telling you what the current commission scale is right now based on this current juncture in time. So now, when items sell on swap.com, you get a certain percentage of the sale. Currently, if your item sells for under $10, you will earn a 20% commission of the sale price. If the item sells between $10 and $20, you will earn a 40% commission on the sale price. And anything over $20 is a 60% commission off of the sale price. Now, keep in mind that does not include shipping costs. It is strictly just based on the price that the item sold at. So, not knowing anything else, that commission scale was phenomenal. Can you imagine earning 40% commission on something that sells between $10 and $20 and you didn't even have to do any work for it? It seemed almost too good to be true. That's another reason why I went ahead and sent things into swap.com, because I genuinely thought that it sounded too good to be true and there was no way those commissions were gonna be paid out. 40% for doing zero work, I just didn't see it happening. But spoiler alert, it was legit. Before I start reporting the kind of money I made, I want to give you some sort of an idea of the process and the length of time it took to actually send things into swap.com. So the first box that I ever sent in to swap.com was in the 3rd or 4th week of November. It was really late. November 2017, I should probably say that. So way back in the 3rd or 4th week of November 2017, I sent in one box, and that one box had 76 items in it. Now, that was a lot of items for my first box. I crammed it in there. Now, you do have to meet certain criteria when you send in boxes to swap.com. First of all, the box itself cannot be larger than 20 inches by 20 inches by 17 inches. That is the biggest that the box can be, and the box can weigh no more than 50 pounds. If you happen to send in a box that is bigger than those dimensions and weighs more than 50 pounds, you will be charged extra. So keep that in mind. Follow the criteria unless you want to pay more money. So now there's two different ways that you can handle sending merchandise into swap.com. You can opt to use your own box and just buy the label from swap.com, or you can order a pre-sized box or bag with the shipping label included and wait for it to arrive. Now, if you just buy a label, it is $11.95. If you order a box or a bag, I believe it's more like $13.95. Not exactly sure because I'm doing it from memory. But I think it's $13.95 if you pre-order a box or a bag with the label. But I just opted into buying just the label for $11.95. Now this is the awesome part, because you don't have to pay a penny out of pocket when you send it in. You literally just request the label, then you print it in your own home, you slap it on the label, and you send it off to FedEx. It is FedEx, not USPS. So you print off the label, you send it over to FedEx, and you wait for swap.com to get it, which it didn't take more than a few days. I was really surprised at how fast it arrived. Now, the first time you send anything into swap.com, you get to send in only one box. It's kind of like your test box. They want to make sure that you're just not sending in a whole bunch of junk. They want to make sure that it's quality. Okay, so the first con to go with all of our pros is the wait time. It has taken a very long time for me to start getting payouts from swap.com. Like I told you, that first initial box that I sent in was towards the end of November. It wasn't even accepted at swap.com until November 28th, 2017. I didn't get my first payout until April. And the reason being is that, first of all, it took 3 months for that first box to get processed, and then I printed more labels. So I had to wait for all of those labels to be paid for before I could start receiving commissions. So it's definitely not the kind of situation where you just like send in a box and 2 weeks later you start having money deposited into your account. It's definitely one of those situations where you send in some boxes, you basically forget all about it, and then you just start having little drops of money into your PayPal account, and you start going, huh, oh yeah, I sent in that swap box. Duh. Okay, so in addition to the long wait time, you also have zero control over what your items are listed for. I saw somewhere on the website that back in the day you could price your own items, but it's not that way anymore. What they did essentially was they would give you a lower commission but let you price your own items. Well, now they have taken complete control over pricing and raised the commissions. So it was kind of a trade-off. You get more money now, but you don't get to say what your item sells for. So that's kind of a bummer, because if you send in something knowing that you could sell it on eBay for 25 bucks and they choose to put it on swap.com for $15, you have no recourse. The only thing that you could do is ask them to pull it and mail it back to you. But if you do that, you have to pay like $6 for a label just to get the item back. So basically, if you think it's something of real value that you can make more money on doing the work and selling it yourself, you might as well keep it and list it yourself. You know, only send things into swap.com if you don't mind them selling for a little less than you expected or even a little more than you expected. Now, there is an area of swap.com you do have a little bit of control over. In your personal sales preferences, there's a little bar and you can slide it however fast or slow you want your item to sell. So you can say that you just want to do it the normal way, however they do it, put your item on sale when they feel like it needs to go on sale if it's been listed for too long, or you can set it to sell faster, which means they'll put it on sale faster, like, hey, give me my money more. Or you could say slower, meaning they'll wait a lot longer and try to get top dollar for your item without putting it on sale with everything else. But other than doing that, you really have zero control over what sales are ran and how much they sell your items for. Now, they do have a program called Sure Sell. And what SureSell does is you can get money instantly for your items as soon as the box is processed. So if you send your box in and after 60 or 90 days, however long it takes them to go through your box, you can get money up front for your item without waiting for it to sell. But keep in mind, you will get a lot more money for your items if you just wait for them to sell. To give you a point of reference, there is a skirt that I sold 2 weeks ago and I earned a $4.40 commission on that skirt. Whereas if I would have done a SureSell, I probably would have only gotten like 35 cents. 35 cents, $4.40. 35 cents, $4.40. If you don't need the money up front, just wait for it to sell, because you'll get more money, a lot more money. And so now the really big question, what happens if your items just don't sell? You have two options essentially. You can either let it be on the website until it sells, or you can ask them to send you your item back. Because if items are sitting for too long, you can say, hey, just give it back, please. You will have to pay, I think it's $5.95 for the shipping label, but you can get your item back if it's just taking too long. Or you just wait for it to sell. I mean, you're not having to do any work. I will wait for it to sell. So as far as I can tell, swap.com is a really good service for two different kinds of people. It's a really good service for the people who have a lot of things that they need to get rid of, but they don't want to take the time to sell themselves. Or it can be used as an avenue for picking items really super cheap and sending them into a website to get commissions, and you don't have to do any work. So if you didn't really have the time and the space to sell everything yourself online, you could realistically go find that really good merchandise and send it into a place like swap.com to kind of get some, what's the word I'm thinking of? Passive income. That's what I was thinking. It's a way for you to earn some passive income without actually having to do a whole lot of work. You can spend your time sourcing, find good quality stuff for a really cheap price if you're paying by the pound, and then send it in. But keep in mind, if you revert back to the screenshots that I showed you, not everything that I sold got me $3, $4, $6, $8, $12 in commissions. Some things I earned less than $1. So you can't realistically expect to buy things for $2 and $3 and make a whole lot of money reselling it on swap.com. You would have to have a clear place where you are essentially paying under $1 for everything for really good quality. But people do it all the time. It's there, it exists. As long as you have a good eye and you could pick things for cheap. Okay, you guys, hopefully I gave you a whole bunch of food for thought. You know, if you've never sent anything into swap.com before or even shopped on swap.com, you should definitely check it out. Not only is it a really good revenue stream if you want to send things into swap.com, but it is also a really good sourcing opportunity. I always see really good prices on swap.com when they do sales. And if you look in the video description, I will put a link there, and it is a coupon for 20% off your first purchase of $20 or more. So, you know, if you don't want to sell to swap.com, you just want to source on swap.com, 20% off is a pretty good deal. So I'll put that link in the video description below. If you have sold at swap.com before, let me know your experience. I have heard good and bad things from selling on swap.com. Most of the negative things I've heard definitely have to do with the long processing time. That's why I'm saying, you know, it's not a really good revenue stream to start coming in immediately. It's like one of those send it in and then forget about it and then get surprised with money a couple of times a month kind of a thing. But let me know your experience with selling to swap.com in the comments below if you have. If you like this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up for me. And don't forget to subscribe for more content, useful information down in the video description below. And I will see you guys with my next video. Bye.